Hey guys, so I'm gonna be a pilot. I want to document my journey. I just spit. I want to document my journey from the very beginning. About 4 months ago is when I made the decision to become a pilot, but I'm still not a pilot. I'm still in the same exact spot that I was 4 months ago. But I want to talk to you about why that is, kind of what's going on, so that I have a little time capsule of what it was like before I was a pilot. So here we go.
Do you want an extension cord for your heater for wherever you stay tonight?
I love you so much. No, Mom. You know what's hilarious? I'm filming this. Can you see the camera?
What?
Can you see the camera? No, not that one.
Oh, there it is.
Dad said, "Are we going to go wave to our daughter?" He said she hates that. But he came out anyway.
I said, that's why I suggested it.
Wow. I guess you know how much gas you have, huh?
Yep. Well, I hope. Once I start driving, it goes up and down and up.
That's helpful.
Yeah, but it goes up to what it actually is at. And
It wants to be a windshield wiper when it grows up.
Wow.
Danae?
Yes?
You got this,
Thank you.
and you're going to be a pilot.
Wow.
That's right.
I love you, honey.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye, Dad. Love you! Are you serious? They're the cutest things on this planet, and I don't deserve them. But I have them. If you're jealous, you should be. So, I'm gonna be a pilot. Thank you. Thanks. Yeah, I know. It's pretty terrifying. I have not gone to flight school. I have not even been in a small plane. I haven't done anything yet. Well, I bought 2 textbooks from the FAA, which is the Federal Aviation Administration. Right? I bought 2 textbooks and the FAR AIM, which I couldn't even tell you what that stands for. The Federal Aviation Rules, maybe. AIM, Aviation Information Manual. Did I get that right? I want to take you back to why I'm becoming a pirate. Oh my gosh. If you're new here, I used to be a semi-truck driver. Yeah, it's weird to me too. I did that for about 3 years during the pandemic, and I really, really loved it. And I've done another video on why I became a truck driver, and so you'll just have to find that one because I'm not going to tell you again. But the thing that I didn't like about truck driving is that you sat down for 11 hours a day. I'm a very active person. I like being outside, I like running around, dancing, like I'm just very athletic. And so sitting down all day, even though one of my biggest passions is driving. Everyone always has an origin story of why they wanted to become a pilot, like their uncle was a pilot or their dad was a pilot, or ever since they got on their first plane, they were like, I'm gonna fly this plane, you know? I don't have that story. Ever since I got my license at 17, I was like, oh my gosh, I love driving. It was just like, how have I spent 17 years of my life not doing this? And so I always used to drag my friends on road trips. I would go for drives just for fun. And Seth's cousin is starting up. Look at him. You gonna keep that on? Or are you leaving? I just gotta roll with the punches, guys. We're gonna keep going. Took auto shop around the same time, and I was like, whoa, I love engineering and mechanics. I was also on the school's robotics team. I wanted to become a mechanic, but I decided against it because I was kind of heading in the more entertainment direction. Like I was working at a bunch of theme parks and, you know, dancing, singing, acting, kind of in a giant costume. Bye. So cute. Yeah, always loved driving. Always loved being in control of giant machines. Don't know why. I don't know why. I'm just a control freak. I like being in charge. Yikes. Should probably go to therapy, but right now it's fueling all of my dreams and goals in life, so I'll wait on that. As I was ending my truck driving career because it was hurting my body and my mental health and my social life and et cetera, I was ending this career without knowing what I wanted to do next, which is always super fun. And so I became a server for a while in LA and was just trying to figure out what my next move was. It was always an inside joke of, what is Danae gonna do next? Is she going to be the captain of a boat? Is she going to be a train conductor? Or is she gonna fly planes? That was always like the big three of people being like, yeah, well, because I'm obsessed with trains, and trains are just, guys, I can't tell you how much I love trains. There's something about the power, that's another thing I'm addicted to, is power. Power and control. Help me. Like standing next to a train as it's thundering by and you can feel the earth shaking and like your heart starts pumping faster. It's just adrenaline. Power, control, and adrenaline. Let's go. Wow. Do I have issues? So I looked into being a boat captain. Trying to captain anything important and get to the point where you make a decent amount of money is hard to get to. It takes a lot of seniority, a lot of time, and I was like, ugh. And then being a train conductor or a train, I don't know if they're called something else. That was also a lot of sitting down and them calling you at 4 o'clock in the morning being like, we need you right now, and then you're out for 2 weeks and then you don't know when you're gonna get back home. And I was just like, I don't wanna, that's trucking. I don't wanna. And so then I was looking at being a pilot. Because it's kind of a terrifying job, not a lot of people want to do it, which means it pays a lot. And it requires a lot of studying, a lot of knowledge, and a lot of money to go to school for it. And my experience on planes has just been like, when you're sitting in the plane and it's about to take off and the engines start up and you just hear this roar at the back of the plane, then it starts thrusting you forward, and then suddenly you're in the sky. It makes me cry every time. I'm literally sobbing at a window seat, just like listening to like Mac Miller or something kind of emotional, you know, or sad. I'm just like crying. It's just like, it's a spiritual experience for me, taking off and landing and being in the sky. I'm just like, my freaking forehead is plastered on the window. And so I do love it, but I never thought to myself, I want to fly this. Because first of all, I don't like uniforms. So the fact that the guy's like, in his little, you know, I'm like, ugh, would never. You can call that shallow, but I like to express myself, okay? And that just looks boxy and like I'm a boring person. Vanilla is the word I'm looking for, I think. I want to be edgy, okay? That's why I'm wearing a layered, I don't know what this is. I started researching all the things that you had to do in order to become a pilot, and I realized I had a friend who was a pilot. She also is a shuffle dancer, which is so weird. Like, to be a shuffler and a pilot. Didn't think that would exist anywhere in the world, but it does. And she's also my age, and she's like this cute little white blonde girl. Anyways, so I messaged Natalie and I said, hey, you know, I'm considering becoming a pilot. Tell me what you hate about your job. Tell me about the bad parts. And she did, but she also just hyped me up and said, if anyone can do it, you can. Because you have to know your why, you have to know your purpose, you have to be passionate, you have to really like dedicate a lot of hard work to it. And she said it's not for everyone. And so I was like, oh, sick. During this time where I'm doing all this research, I'm on my way up to Shaver Lake, which is this beautiful lake in the mountains near Bakersfield. Okay, so middle of California. I drove up there, I got a hotel because even though I love Seth, he doesn't have any air conditioning, and it was about 110 degrees actually, yeah, in Bakersfield at that time. So this was in the summer, this is July. It is now December. Whenever I'm trying to make a big decision, I always involve God in it. So I was reading my Bible, I was praying, I was journaling, just asking God, like, where do you want me to go? Rewind a little bit. I started listening to this band that I used to listen to a lot when I was a teenager, and it got me through a lot of issues. There was a lot of like sexual assault happening to me back then, and this band really like got me through it. And just recently there was another sexual assault thing that happened, and so I went back to listening to the band because I was like, well, they got me through it last time, let's kind of get back to the same place. And it was really nostalgic and really amazing, and they have new albums out, so I was just, that was like who I was listening to at that point. And you know those coincidences where, say a song is playing and I read Seascape as the guy in the song says Seascape, like, and you're just kind of whoa, what was that? So there was a lot of that happening with this band I was listening to, and I was like, that's weird, okay. So I was in the hotel and I was reading my Bible, and I was reading this verse that had the word lavish in it. Now, lavish is not a normal word that you hear in the Bible. I think it's only used twice in the Bible, I think. This band has a song titled Lavish. So already I was like, that's weird, but okay. And then I went to Target because I needed a floaty for the lake that we were going to, and Target only had 2 floaties left. They had like a dark purple one, which is gross. I don't like color, obviously. So I picked the other one, which was this orange, like, animal thing. Didn't know what it was. It kind of looked like a llama. And so I was picking it up, you know, and I brought it to the checkout line, and as I was scanning it, I saw it said cheetah on it. And I was like, that's crazy, because the band that I listened to has a song called Pet Cheetah. Stupid. Okay. And then the next day I went back to Target to get this necklace. I didn't go for the necklace, it was just there, and I impulse bought it. And this one was cute. There was a bunch of dried flowers, different types of dried flowers, and I chose this one because there's 2 flowers in it. And I'm really symbolic, so I was like, I want this to represent that I don't want to do life by myself anymore, because I'm a very independent person. I was like, I want to involve other people in my life, so 2. And then found out they are carnations, and just decided for fun to look up what state the state flower is a carnation. Turns out the carnation is the state flower of Ohio. And guess where the band is from? Ohio. Am I a crazy fan? Absolutely. Then I was in Panera and they were playing a song from that band. And I was like, why are all of these things happening? This is so weird. It doesn't make any sense. So I called my parents, of course, and I love them. And I was talking to them about all these coincidences, and I was like, I don't get it. Like, what's the whole point of this? Because I believe that God will give you signs. And then I realized while I was on the phone with my parents that the band's name is 21 Pilots. I like screamed on the phone. I was like, oh my gosh, in the middle of Panera. After I hung up with my parents, I was sitting there in Panera doing more research on all this, and in walks this guy with a t-shirt that says Ohio on it in Bakersfield, California. And it wasn't even like a cool Ohio t-shirt. It was charcoal gray, and in black cursive lettering it just said Ohio. Nothing else. Bakersfield, Ohio. What are the odds? Then I called my friend and I was talking to her. She used this phrase that she's never used before. She said, wow, Danae, you've got everything except the kitchen sink. 21 Pilots has a song called Kitchen Sink. And it's not on any of their albums either. It's like on their YouTube channel way back in 2012. My friend Taylor, who's also a very strong Christian, she was like, Danae, how many signs did you get? And I said, 7. And we were like, that's a biblical number. 7 is like representative of God. And then she goes, in how many days did you get those 7 signs? And I looked back over everything. 3 days, which is another number for God because 3 represents the Trinity. And she goes, Danae, what's 3 times 7? 21 pilots. Come on! Now all of that is kind of silly, and I get it. I was also just kind of like, why is God like, I already want to become a pilot, and why is he just like hammering it down? Didn't understand it, just thought it was a cute way of God saying like, yeah, this is where I want you to go. So I quit my job as a server in LA, decided to move back down to San Diego, which was crazy for me because I didn't want to come back here. God always has other plans. So I moved back down here end of July, so early August. Luckily, like, if I'm moving someplace, I literally just drive. Thought it would be easy to get a server job in San Diego. Impossible. I went to so many places. I applied on Indeed to a bunch of places, then I went in, brought a resume, all of these things, and nobody called me. So I was without a job for 3 months. I finally got a job driving for Amazon. in their little delivery vans. That's different than truck driving because you sit down, you drive a foot, you stand up, you carry these giant packages up flights of stairs to people's apartments. I built up some credit card debt. I'm living in the van, but I'm parking at my parents' house, which means I get to eat their food and use their showers. Showers? Shower. And kitchen. Why am I doing this? I'm starting to pay off that debt, but I didn't want to go to flight school and take out that $100,000 student loan, you heard me, in order to go to flight school when I have credit card debt. It just didn't feel right. So that was kind of like my thing. I'm like, I'm gonna work, put some money into the credit cards and try to work that down before I apply for that. So I was gonna go on a discovery flight with Natalie and vlog it, and it just hasn't worked out schedule-wise. She's so busy killing it, making her money, and it just hasn't worked out. And so that's why I haven't even been up in a plane yet. Normally I'm so used to running on adrenaline and just impulsively doing things. That's kind of what my plan was. I was gonna move down to San Diego, immediately go to flight school, boom. But then the whole job situation happened and the credit card debt happened, and then not being able to go on a discovery flight before I hop into a school happened. And it's just like, it almost seems like God is just saying, wait, hold on. I have been waiting. And the longer you wait, the faster the adrenaline fades. And now I'm going through a lot of doubt of, is this the right thing for me? Will I be able to graduate? Will I be good at flying planes? Will it be something that I can turn into a career? There's so many questions that have come up and so many doubts that now I realize, hey, God gave me all of those silly signs that I thought were silly in the moment because he knew I would have to rely on that to get me through this. It's almost like he's an eternal being that lives outside of time and knows what you need before you need it. So I'm learning a lot about myself, but I'm not wasting this time. Like I said, I bought those textbooks in the FAR AIM, and I've been on YouTube learning free pilot ground school, because there's ground school and there's flight school, I guess. So the ground portion is where you are on the ground, you're learning information, and then you go up and you fly. And so that's what flight school is. It's a little bit of both. So I'm like, well, if I can get the ground portion down, then I'll have an advantage once I get in there, because there's a minimum amount of flight hours that you need to have in order to get certain licenses, as well as the ground portion, the ground knowledge portion. And I want to do it in the minimum amount of hours because I'm competitive. That's kind of the goal. We'll see how it goes. I won't give you all those details. I just want to tell you where I'm at so that you have something to identify with if you're just starting to become a pilot. I'm really excited and terrified. Love you guys. I'm gonna go now. Goodbye.